All right, hey guys, welcome back again. This time we're going to be doing a bit of a dive into variables. This should be pretty exciting. So what we're going to be using to do that, once you have Xcode downloaded and everything, if you don't know how to download, watch my previous video. I'll have uploaded, how to download Xcode and just a little bit of the basics before you actually get into it. So what we're going to be using is something called a playground. Now, what's unique about Xcode, well, not necessarily unique, but what's kind of cool about Xcode is you have like, if you go into File here, oh god, my computer's laggy, but you can go into Project here, and that's if you want to create new applications and stuff, or if you just want to mess around with some code and just run things through, you can go into your playground, and that's actually what we'll be using for the vast majority of our tutorials here, at least for the basics. Alright, so all you do, so let's just start again. So once you go to Xcode here, what pops up is you got your mainframe here, you got a list of, like previous applications that you've made or you've worked on or whatever. So what we want to do is we just want to make sure we're on Xcode, hit File, then go to New, and then start a new playground. Ooh, it should be exciting. Alright, and you can name the playground whatever you want. Let's just say, I Rule Playground. I like that name, I Rule. Kind of cocky, but I'm not. So let's just keep it at iOS for now. It's just default, that's a default setting. So what you want to do is you want to put it in wherever you want to store it. So for me, I'm going to put it in JA Swift Videos. So let's do that there. All right. And I'm actually going to make this slightly bigger. I always like to full size everything if possible. Okay, so import UIKit. Don't worry about that for now. That's just like just like the user interface that you bring in. So we're not going to worry about that for now. Just ignore that. So I'm going to delete this here, and that actually already is a variable that is created. So what exactly is a variable? So a variable is something that holds a certain value, whether it be a number, a decimal, or a name, or I don't know, like a birthday or something. Alright, so this is how you create a variable. So what you do is you hit var, you type that in, that signifies to Swift, or to your computer, that you're going to create a variable. And what you want to do next is after you type in var, you want to have a space to separate it between that and the next thing. And you want to hit something like, whatever you want to call it. Let's say var my friend. And then you do equal. Now equal is the operator used in Swift to assign a value to something. So if you say var my friend equals Bob, then the value in my friend, the variable my friend, will be Bob. Okay, or if you want to do var space my birthday equals space August 11th. That's my birthday, by the way, so if you want to send me any presents, go ahead. But yeah, so then the value of your birthday, of my birthday, the variable is August 11th. So let's give this a try. So var my friend equals, let's say Jake, just because Jake's going to be doing this over in Android. Hopefully he mentions me too. But anyway, so do you see there how it just popped up right around here? It says Jake. Yeah, so that we just created our first variable. Now you might be wondering why I use quotation marks. In Swift, what you do is for strings, a string is basically something that's not a numerical value, and that is just like basically like text, kinda. That's how I think of it. You want to put those in quotation marks. So for example, Jake, let's say we want to, let's see what happens when we get rid of the quotation marks. You see how that little error pops up there? That's because we need the quotation marks. So it doesn't have to be Jake. You can change it to Bob Dylan. You have a little space in there. Ooh, Bob Dylan. There you go. And look at that. It'll be var my friend equals, if it'll load soon. Alright. My computer is just being really, really slow today. There we go. Bob Dylan. Alright, so that is, those are variables for you. Alright, and variables, they can be changed over time. Let's say I set the value of my friend to Jake, and I decide, and let's just double check first to see if what the value of my friend is. So to do that, you can just type in the variable name. My friend, it'll pull it up for you. And actually what's kind of cool about Xcode is that it pulls everything up already, so it's auto type right there. Let's see what the value is here. Look at that, it's Jake. Okay, cool. But let's say I don't want my friend to be Jake. Let's say me and Jake had a big fight, and I decided my new friend's name is David. For David Zhang. All right. So what you'll see here in a minute is you'll see that change right there. You see how it changed from Jake to David? That's the power of variables. Variables can change into whatever you want it to be, given that you don't apply constraint first. So they're constantly changeable no matter what. All right, but let's talk about something different now. Let's talk about numerical values. Variables, there's different types. So let's just say, so right now we covered strings, right? Another thing that we're going to cover in this video is something called integers. If you don't remember from like 6th grade or 5th grade math, integers are numbers basically that are whole numbers, negative or positive. So let's say I wanted to create another variable. Let's say I know who this Jake kid is, but what is his age? So let's make a variable for Jake's age. So let's do var Jake age equals let's say, I think it's 17, right? Yeah, let's say 17. Let's see what happens here. 17. So notice I didn't put any quotation marks around. That's because for integers, you don't have to put quotation marks around them. They're a numerical value. So as long as you're going to put in if you're going to put in just a number, you don't need any quotation marks. All right, so let's run Jake age again, see what his age is. All right, and it's 17 right over here. All right, sounds good. So you just kind of learn the flexibility of variables, and again, var Jake age can be changed into a string if you don't clarify it at first. Eventually, in the next video, we'll be talking about how you can get into var int, and then that'll just solidify it. Make sure you can't change it into anything other than an integer per se. All right, so another thing we're going to talk about in this video is constants. So variables, variable. They are variable. There's a lot of variability into what they can become and what they can be and what value can be assigned to them. On the other hand, there's a different function that just completely constrains the value to what it is and just make sure that it cannot be changed whatsoever. So let's give this a try. It's called the let function. It's similar to a variable in that it holds a value, but what it does is you just can't change it. So let's say let my friend equals David again, but this time let's say David oops, I can get rid of it. Let's say my friend 1, okay, is David. Let's say me and David had a fight, okay, and I decided that my friend number 1 is now going to be, let's say, Furkan. Oops, so it's going to be Furkan here. Let's see what happens. We get an error right here. That's because with the let function, you're saying your friend 1, my friend 1, is David, and David only, and it is David as a string. All right, so and similarly, the let function, all the same rules applies in terms of integers as well. So let's make let David age equals 16. All right, and that should work. 16 right over here. All right, but let's try changing it to something else again. Let David age equals, let's say 20. Right, so we get that error. So again, it's the exact same thing. So I'll use a quick summary for you. Variables and constants like let, they hold a certain value. They can be strings, they can be integers. Later we'll talk about floats, but don't worry about that for now. We're just worried about integers and strings for now. To make a variable with a string, you'll want to use quotation marks outside of it, and keep in mind that with variables you can change the value, but with constants you cannot change the value. Okay, so now that we've gone through a little bit, I'd like to initiate a little quiz here to make sure that you've fully understood everything. So I'm just going to delete everything here, and I want you to pause the video after I finish the instructions and complete the challenge real quick. Okay. This is just a little way to test a bit of your skills. I think this really helps out rather than just listening to me lecture on and on and on and on and on. Okay, so what I'd like you to try first is to make a variable with your favorite teacher's name in it. All right, so pause the video. We'll be back in a couple seconds. Okay, so I hope you had time to do that. So let's make a variable here. So var, remember var is how you initiate a variable, and remember we're going for a variable right now, not a constant. Variable, and let's say my favorite teacher equals, oh, let's say Mrs. Rush. Oh, look at that. And remember, it's because it's a string, it has quotation marks on the outside. And remember, with the equal sign here, I'm assigning a value to my favorite teacher. Okay, are you ready for challenge number 2? All right, I want you to make a constant with your age on it. So pause this right now and label the constant or name the constant whatever you want, and I want you to just make sure that constant has a variable assigned to it with your age in it. All right. Okay, I hope you had enough time to do that as well. So let's create a constant. So remember, the constant uses the let function. Let's say let my age equals 21, because I just want to be 21. I want to be in college already. Okay. No, I like high school, but yeah. So that's remember with constants again. If I try to change it to something else, like my age equals 23 or 22 because it's my birthday or something, I can't. It's a constant. I'll be forever young, which I don't mind. Okay. All right. So let's just try one more exercise here. Let's have you create a variable named Econ Team and your favorite activity in it. So like whether it be Econ Challenge, JA Company, or JA Titan. So make a variable named Econ Team and create your favorite activity. And along with that, now this is going to be a little complex, I'm going to add another step here, and I'll be doing this as I go along with other projects too. I want you to also use the let function. Oops, I gave it away. But create a constant, and that's named. Ooh, I don't know. That's named Rush Room, and then put Mrs. Rush's room number in it. All right, so that is a variable named Econ Team that has your favorite activity, as well as a constant named Rush Room with the value of Mrs. Rush's room number in it. All right. Okay, I hope you had enough time to give that a try. So let's just run through this here. So var, what was it? Econ Team, that's right. var Econ Team equals, for me, I've always been extremely involved in JA Company. All right. And let's create that constant for Miss Rush's room. Rush room equals 240. All right, good stuff. Okay, so another thing you might have noticed is if you have a look right around here what I'm highlighting, you notice that I have it lowercase for the first word and then uppercase. Now that isn't a necessity or something special of any sort. It's just kind of, I think it's coding etiquette more or less. You want to undercase the first word and uppercase all words afterwards, and just makes it much easier to read. All right, in the next lesson we'll be doing something. I forgot what, but yeah, thanks for watching, and feel free to just run through and make some of your own variables, your own constants, just to get the hang of it. All right, we'll see you in the next video.